Hi, my name is Kevin Carlson, and my vision today is the topic of this little video. I want to talk to you about my vision for reaching out to help fatherless kids. My audience is anyone, anywhere, who has a heart for helping kids with no dads, and I want to tell you about how my vision for my company, Paradox Productions Media, will reach out to provide the resources and help for these kids who are a serious problem, both here in the U.S. and actually around the world. The first part of this vision is the publication of my book called Walking the Walk, Leadership Lessons from the Book of Luke, which would be a leadership book and a workbook that would be focused on using the lessons from Jesus' ministry as recorded in the book of Luke and teaching leadership and a leadership academy focused on kids with no dads in a way that would help them to identify their own leadership potential and reach out to them in a way that doesn't make them feel like there's something wrong with them because they don't have a dad. That's part one. Part two is a media company which would provide a TV show called Help My Family with Dr. K, focused on the families of these kids that have no dads, interviewing the moms and the kids and talking about the challenges they face and how they've overcome them. The idea would be to be a documentary style reality TV show with little to no editing and no staging, and just interview the kids and the moms and let them tell their stories. Part three is a seminar based on the Walking the Walk book, which would be a 2-day leadership development event where kids who are identified as having no dads would be paired up with adults who have a heart for serving these kids, both boys and girls, by the way, and participate in a 2-day leadership development conference, which would be staged in a big auditorium, and the conference would be structured like this. Friday would be meet your kid, go to a table with 4 other couples, kids and mentors and kids, and so these 8 top tables would be circled around in a U shape around the stage where presenters would talk about the leadership book, principles of overcoming life challenges, a speaker, hopefully my wonderful coach Leah McHenry, to talk about building a business that's a kingdom legacy, and then a motivational speaker that would wrap up the Friday event. The kids and parents, kids and the mentors then would go to dinner, and kids would go home at the end of day one. Day two, Saturday morning, another 2-session activation focused seminar, group discussion, lunch, and then mentors and kids reach out into the community to volunteer, with the goal being to teach the kids about the value of being a volunteer and being helpful, and for the adults, the mentors, to become more engaged with the mentoring project and with their volunteer activity, whatever that is. I know from a recent project that volunteers who or people that are engaged in an organization that volunteer in the community become more deeply engaged with the mission of the organization, and so that's my goal for this afternoon activity, as well as for the parents, the mentors, to model what it means to be a helpful volunteer in the community. The end of day 2 would be dinner, and then a finale presentation of my production called The Word. The Word is a musical which is staged on a digital stage with minimal props, with maximum background video, B-roll video we call it, that would put the participants in the real biblical scene. So Act 1 is a contemporary scene, street scene. Scene 2 is scene at home, contemporary time period. And then fade to black, and then the next scene would be Jesus' birth in Bethlehem, and then continuing through the rest of his life, including the crucifixion and the resurrection and the ascension. All of the action on stage would be scripted, of course, and choreographed, and there would be no vocal speaking parts. There would be no speaking parts. Everything would be done via music. The only speaking part would be a narrator during this scenes, the transition between the scenes, and there would be the background video would be similar to Palestine at the time of Jesus. Included in the production would be some new technology that allows little puffs of order to occur during particular time, at the right time during the scene, and that would be the purpose of that is to heighten the experience and to anchor the experience to a smell, which research has shown is very powerful in anchoring memories. At the end of the word production, then that would wrap the weekend, and that would begin a one-year mentorship program for the mentors and their kids to meet on a weekly basis or more to make sure that the kids have a good, solid relationship with their mentors. And the research has shown that a 1 hour a week for a year mentorship program is sufficient to alter the life path of these kids who are at serious risk. So the goal is to provide these fatherless kids with a different path than they might otherwise have. In my experience as a divorce litigation consultant, it became apparent to me that too many kids were growing up with no dads. The research confirms that. The 2020 census found that 42% of all kids were growing up in households with no dads. And in my experience with kids of divorce was that about a third of them ended up in serious trouble, substance abuse, emotional problems, depression and anxiety, relationship problems with their families, school problems, juvenile delinquency, substance abuse, adolescent pregnancy, all the result of growing up in a fatherless home. Just as a side note, my dissertation while I was in graduate school at UT Southwestern looked at the emotional development of kids with unwanted adolescent pregnancies, and the only distinguishing factor between the kids that were in my control group and were not pregnant and the pregnant girls was absent father. So I know from personal experience that a missing dad is a major contributor to risk for unwanted adolescent pregnancy, and so the goal for this program is to give these kids an option. Part 4 of this program is a production of a Learn to Read media, which will be delivered online. As a part of one of my volunteer efforts in the community, I learned that many of these kids that have no dads are also not learning to read because they have nobody to read to them. And having somebody teach you how to read by reading to you is a major contributor to the development of good reading skills. If you don't learn to read by 3rd grade, your odds of being a successful student are 0. Kids are basically doomed to a school career that's frustrating and unsuccessful, and problems after that if they don't learn how to read. In our economy, that's a major problem. So anyway, the reading company, which I started in year 2000, developed a demo which is available online. You can find that in the same place where you found this video, and I'd encourage you to look at it and check it out. We did a pretty good job of developing the product that I had envisioned, but just as we were getting ready to begin going to market, 9/11 happened, and the capital markets dried up. So the reading company never launched. Anyway, the goal of all this is to develop profitable businesses that do well while doing good. The book, Walking the Walk, is a leadership book that comes straight from the book of Luke. The leadership development seminars are a way to reach this population that has great needs and represents 40% of the population of the U.S. in terms of how many kids and the adults that care about them. The Word is envisioned to be a musical that would stand alone. After the initial production at the leadership development event, then the Word would hit the road to the top 10 cities in the country, hopefully along with a leadership development event just like the one I proposed. And finally, the reading company is a way for Paradox Productions Media to reach out to that group of people who are basically fatherless kids who have not only no dads but no moms, because mom's working 3 jobs to make sure that they get fed, and to give them an opportunity to learn to read using their smartphone, that have somebody read to them and teach them how to read when mom's not available. So I hope that you are that this message resonates with you, that you recognize the value of this vision, and I have one kind of closing story. Early in the 2000s, after this vision came to me in parts, I didn't get it all at once, but in parts, I attended a presbytery service at Gateway Frisco. A presbytery is a community service where prophets come in to encourage and the congregation and to speak words in due season, which is things that come to them during the service where they have a prophecy to speak over somebody in the audience. So I attended this presbytery service where a couple of my friends were the honored guests, and at the end of the service, during the words in due season portion, a minister I did not know, had never met, walked up. It was a prophet at this gathering. Walked up to me and said, "I know that God has given you some things and put some things on your heart for you to accomplish, and He wants you to know that you cannot fail." Needless to say, I was stunned by that prophecy, and I haven't received one before or since, and so I'm reminded of one of my favorite posters, which says, "When God gives you a vision, He's testing your faith, not your bank account." Good thing, because I can't afford to make this happen, and so this is my first public discussion of this vision, and it was done at the encouragement of my wonderful coach, Leah, who is also a believer and was encouraging us in a seminar last week to think bigger. So this thinking bigger part had occurred to me many years ago, but I had been sitting on it And as I had tried to execute it, I have run into roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. And so apparently God was telling me the time wasn't right. But now with confirmation from Leah to speak it, I'm speaking it. So if you're looking at this, it means that either that you are put on my heart to receive a link, or that you are drawn here because God wants you to be a part of this endeavor. And so I look forward to hearing from you. I literally have no team at this point. And so everything and everyone that needs to make this happen is in God's hands. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you. Your prayers are greatly appreciated. Can't happen without them. Have a blessed day. Thanks. I will put my contact information in the information that accompanies this video, and I look forward to hearing from you if this resonates with you.